here is Anand Giridharadas on The Daily Show. Really sort of, laying it out quite well in terms of the choices that we have in the Democratic field. Buttigieg the other day said that he and Elizabeth Warren share a lot of the same goals, but he doesn't want to fight so much. He doesn't want to fight. She wants to fight, and I want to.
He's interested in outcomes, I think he said.
That's it. I'm interested in outcomes, not fighting. And the idea that you can get change, you can get these outcomes as if it was just like, we're just going to go and we're going to have tea. And we're going to say, look, this is the type of thing we want. I know you don't want it, but come on, guys. Let's just do this. No. And here's Giridharadas making that point.
A lot of the people who sound similar when they're talking about fixing this problem are actually quite different. And I think of the book as a set of infrared lenses to actually understand who's peddling real change and who's peddling fake change. Because you look at people who say, gosh, we got to rebuild the middle class, but who also say, as Joe Biden did, nothing's going to fundamentally change for the billionaires in this country. I just have to say, that is an incoherent, and I don't just mean rambling incoherent, as is the Biden way, but is an incoherent, intellectually incoherent theory. Because in this moment, I'm not saying all moments, but in this moment, the people up above are up above because they are stepping on people down below. And the people down below are down below because they are being stepped on. And you cannot say that I want to help the people down below in a way that will change nothing for the people standing on their necks. The same way you couldn't address feudal England, you couldn't address the Downton Abbey world without dealing with why the Granthams are the only people who own that damn castle, so big, right? You couldn't deal with slavery without making things worse for the white plantation owners. You can't, frankly, look at the Me Too world. You can't make things better for women in this world without, frankly, reducing the power of men to have impunity in so many of the spaces you and I and everybody else operate in. Right. Real change involves the loss of power. And at the heart of this book is the idea that there has been an ideology for the last 40 years that is the ideology of win-win. We can empower the least among us. We can help people in Africa. We can help people in Appalachia. And no one has to suffer. The rich people don't have to pay any more taxes. They don't have to be regulated anymore. And it is a lie. It is a lie. The only change worth doing in a moment like this with such inequity is change that will necessarily make the plutocrats less powerful. The answer to a winners-take-all world is almost logically a world in which the winners take less. And as you said, they're not going to sign up for that. It's us acting together, joining things, getting involved in democracy that are going to take change back from the charade.
Zero sum, I think, is what he's arguing.
Clearly, he's been watching this show.
You can go back and listen to the interview we did with, I guess that was over a year ago. It was, that's right. It was right before an event referenced before in California.
Hi, Ando. Your pronunciation of your name is a zero-sum game.
But the point that he's making there, I think, is an important one. That really is, to a large extent, the way that you separate the platitudes from their actual agenda, is the recognition that there are enemies, as it were, to this change, and you need to name them. You need to be able to identify them because they're there and it's quite obvious who they are. It's quite obvious. If you're going to make society more equitable, if you're going to help people, you're going to have to prevent a small group of people from cornering the market on all the benefits of society, or an astonishingly disproportionate amount of the benefits of society. You can't have 4 people with the same amount of money as 50% of your population. You cannot do it. You can't have 4 people who control more resources than 150 million in your country and think that that is sustainable. Never mind just. But then the only way for that to change is you take that money from them.
We're going to take it back from them. Because remember, our work made that money. Labor creates wealth and value, and that's the only reason the billionaires exist in the first place.
But, the other thing is, like, I don't even need to justify that it's to take it back. I mean, I think that's true. But I think it's also like, look, you want to live in our society? Everybody has to contribute to making it function. And it's dysfunctional. It's dysfunctional. You got lucky. Maybe you got lucky because you got smarts, or you got lucky because of the way you were positioned, or whatever it is. And you ended up with way more than anyone needs. But also more than is healthy for society for you to have, period. That's it. Like, we're doing it in the best interest of society. Don't even need to have any justification beyond that. There's no natural right to money. Governments produce money. You can go own as many Bitcoins as you want. How's that sound? Or, whatever. Billionaire coins that you've created yourself. But if you're talking about a currency that's convertible into the US dollar that can then be used to pay taxes, of course, didn't grow on a tree. It wasn't natural. It didn't show up next to Adam and Eve. It exists because society has organized themselves. So you're subject to, society. That's why confiscatory taxation.
There are multiple reasons why we need to do that.
Policy-wise, yeah. But I'm saying, like, you don't need, as far as, like, justification, that's all the justification I think we need.
I feel like it adds a lot of heft, though, too, to remember that your work made that money. As the guys from Street Fight said, that's your money, and we're going to get it back.
Yeah, I think that's true. I think that's true as well.